What's up, YouTube? It's Chris from Chris Glides and Low Rise, and tonight I'm just gonna get the Road 3 prepped and ready because tomorrow when the UPS truck comes, I'm gonna be loading on or installing on the Baja Design LP-6 lights. One will be amber, one will be clear, and I can't wait to see how that's gonna look on this thing. That's gonna be definitely different. I'm wondering if I'll be the first one that has a Road 3 with LP-6 lights on it. It just gives it a wicked look. It gives it more bright lights on the road, about 20,000 lumens between the two lights. That's gonna be crazy. So anyway, stay tuned. Some of the things that I'm gonna do in order to prep this bike to be able to have the LP-6 install is I'm gonna be removing the windshield, the fairing, of course the old light. I'm gonna remove the seat, and I saw a video where I didn't have to remove the tank, but I can go ahead and remove the tank. It's not a big deal because the kit comes with a wire harness. I know from before because I have the Baja Design LP-6 single light on the Lowrider S. And I'm gonna be installing the wire harness from the front of the bike to the rear of the bike where the battery is. And by doing that, see the neck piece in there? Once the fairing is off and everything's off, I'm gonna be running the wiring through there all the way to the battery. And that wire harness will plug directly into the lights. And those lights will come with a bracket. The bracket will connect on the inside. So when this is removed, it has four screws in the brackets. There are 4 bolts, and those 4 bolts will go on to the new bracket that holds in the Baja Design lights. And then there's a cover bracket that goes in. And I can't wait. So it's late night. I ain't gonna be able to sleep because I'm just thinking about this package arriving tomorrow, and I want to get that installed. The other thing is I'm still waiting for the tuner so I can remove those headers off and put my Werks headers on. I can't wait. I'm still waiting on the Harley-Davidson luggage rack, and I'm still waiting on the Harley-Davidson Empire Collection mirrors. So lots to install still on this machine here, and I just can't wait. Every day I want to put those headers on, but I know if I do it, the bike will have to remain parked. All the vehicles in here just full of pollen. It's just a no-win situation this time of year. So we're gonna have a bike wash, a car wash. I got bugs and stuff all over Grady and Roja, even though that bike's pretty clean and rosy red, it's covered in pollen. So Monet is sitting there pretty. She's just got pollen from when the garage doors are open, but that one is the easiest to clean and shows the least amount of dirt, so I love it. So stay tuned. I'm gonna go ahead and get started by first removing the seat, and then I'm gonna go ahead and remove the fairing. Fairing removal, there's a lot of it on YouTube. There is a lot of, you're gonna have to take the speaker grill off. There's a screw here, and on the other side, you have to take these 2 screws out and sit that in a safe place. So I got my table set up so I can put stuff on. This screw comes out on this side and on the other side. Of course, the 4 that hold the windshield together, this whole thing comes out. And you leave one of the screws behind the grill in and take that off last. And when you remove that, the fairing will slide off. There's gonna be 2 wires that are, well, there's gonna be 2 clamp on this side attached to wires, a clamp on that side attached to wires. And what that is, those are the wires that are connected to the what are they? The lights that go here. And when you unclamp those, you can remove the fairing off. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. I will show you steps throughout the process of removal, and we're just gonna have some fun. I don't know if there's a video of the RG3 getting Baja lights, but there's tons of videos with the Road Glide specials and limiteds and other Road Glides getting the Baja Design LP-6 lights in them. And there's thousands of videos of fairing removals and running wires under the tank, which I even have some videos when I ran the wires for the lowrider. So it's not very involved. It is just a little bit of time taking off the parts. So I'm gonna do that part now, and then tomorrow when the package comes, I will be able to go ahead and continue on with the video. So stand by. So I mentioned seat removal for all you all that haven't seen the other videos. I like using a short screwdriver. I have more control, and I can just loosen that one screw up, remove that, and that's all it is to remove the seat. Seat comes right off after that. It's just slid into that place right there and connected there, right there. So seat's off. Let's set that over here in a safe place. And I will sit my seat screw with it. I'm the only one that is gonna be in the garage, so I'm not worried about it getting moved unless some squirrel or something comes in here. The next thing I'm gonna do is start with the fairing removal, because I saw a video on the Baja Design LP-6 site where they actually were able to run the wires down through the frame and out here. And so I'm gonna use a long 48-inch zip tie, 2 of them tied together that I used in some of my other videos. And I'm gonna run that from the front to the rear and see if it can go through there. If so, that'll save me time and I don't have to remove the tank. Now that the seat's removed, the next thing I'm gonna do is start with removing the windshield. There is gonna be 4 screws that I'm gonna remove with a Phillips head screwdriver to get the windshield off. You can loosen them up. You don't have to take the screws all the way out just yet. And by loosening them, the windshield will come right out if you have it loose enough. I didn't have it loose enough, but yeah, so I'm showing you this because some of the people watching have never done this before. So set the windshield in a safe place, somewhere up there in my pile of junk. Now I'm gonna go ahead and remove these screws all the way out, and I don't need you guys to watch me do that. Okay, so now that those 4 screws are removed out of there, this just generally pops up like that, and this piece is out. I'll sit this down in a safe place. Now back here, these are where the 2 wires are that I mentioned before. You just simply press down and press down there, and you kind of pull up. Let me see, got fingernails on this side. See that little tab at the back? That allows you to press in and pull out. Gee whiz, I might need to put the phone down, huh? No, I didn't. There we go, just like that. So again, there's a little tab piece there. Is where you push, and then it unplugs. Easier, way easier to do with 2 hands. All right, so you get the point. I will put the phone down and do it, and be right back. So now that those are unplugged, one of the things you can do now at this point is you can pop these speaker grills out. The easiest way is by putting your hand under here. It allows you to push out on the grills, which loosens up the tab piece together. So basically when I'm pushing out, from the inside, my hand is going through here and I'm just basically pushing this out from these tabs there. And then this piece is just actually slid inside. So do the same thing on the other side. This screw right here gets removed. The other one gets loosened, and just leave it in place because I always take that out last because it holds my fairing in place. So again, hand through here, push out, and it is out. Catch it there, no tabs broken, excellent. If you break one of these tabs, then those cost $48 each at Harley. You can go on eBay or Amazon and they sell you another set. So next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and take these screws out. I have a T25 and I think that's what it was, yep. And I'll go ahead and take these screws out and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this side off. I've already removed that side. I'm gonna place this down in a safe place. The next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove the bolt out of this part of the blinker and also the other side. To remove that, I'm gonna use a 3/16 right there. I have a socket adapter piece. Put that on, put that in the reverse side to take off, and it's loose. So when I do that, I just remove this and I just loosen it by hand, and I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. When you remove this screw, it doesn't make the blinker come out. It's still affixed to the bike. It just this piece just holds the fairing in. See how that's loose now? And that's loose because we have the screws out of here already. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, be right back. So both of those are removed out of the left and right side, so that's done. The next thing and the last things to do is I'm gonna go ahead and remove the screw on this side and loosen it up on the other side to where it's almost all the way out to where I can remove it with my hand. So to remove this, I had my T25 screwdriver that I used to remove the bolts out of there on the left and right side. As you can see, it just unscrews really easy, and then you could remove it with your hand, and I am gonna do the same on the other side. So I'm at the other side, and I'm loosening this one up pretty good to where it's almost out. I'll leave it right there. The fairing is not sliding, but it could fall. I would recommend covering that up with a towel. So I have a can full of towels here. I'll put that over my front fender. I don't plan on dropping anything today, but there's always Murphy's Law. All right, so that's towels on. I'm gonna reach over here. I have my body firmly pressed up against the front fairing. I'll go ahead and remove the screw out all the way. Hopefully it doesn't take too long. Don't wanna drop it in there. All right, so that's out. I'll put it in my pocket for now. Sometimes I'll put these in my mouth. And as you can see, I can do this with one hand. It's just coming down. This piece is very light. It is about, I don't know, less than 20 pounds probably. So I will sit this down in a safe place. And this is where I use a table. It's just a card table. I'll put that down there. I'll rearrange all this stuff because it kind of looks all ugly and stuff's all over the place, and I don't want things to fall like how it could have fell just now. And so I'll sit that off to the side. I know that everything's on the table. It's not gonna get broken or knocking down. I don't have any wild animals running around today. And so seats off, fairings off. And now what I can do is I can go ahead and remove the headlight, and I can see how I wanna run my power wires tomorrow when the wire harness comes. So to remove the headlight, as I mentioned before, I can see that there's a headlight. There's some tabs up here for the original headlight, but there's gonna be 1, 2 screws, 3, and 4. and I'm gonna go ahead and get some tools to remove those. So T25 is working out. I'll go ahead and remove that side and the other side. The top screws were the T25. The bottom ones, I'm using that same 3/16 bit that I had in there before. And I'll go ahead and put this back on, just loosen it up. And I'll get these off and I'll be back in a minute. All right, so just taking these off. Set this down somewhere. I'm just remembering I've got the other screw in my pocket. I'm gonna take it out before I forget. All right, so from there, the headlight is still in because it's got those little push tabs there. And I see that I may have to go ahead and take the T25 again and remove these little side covers there. If you have the lights that go there, it'd be a good time to install those. And the lights I'm talking about are those little fang lights, but that wouldn't really go too well with the LP-6. But if you were changing your light out with one of those Advanblack lights or something else, or even just putting these fang lights on with the factory light, this is how you would do it. And T25 on both sides, you remove the fang and all that stuff the same way. You don't have to remove the seat for that, but this is just a plastic piece held in place with those little T25 screws. And so that's one side. So this is the vent, obviously, and then these little covers. I'm not sure if I'll even be putting those back on yet because of the new bracket for the LP-6. It may not go on there, so I'm gonna sit this down. Yeah, do cover this up because I've already not dropped anything on it, but there's something that you could definitely hit with a wrench or dropping these pieces like I just did. Fumble. All right, now I should be able to remove this with a little force. Let's see what else is connected on here. Things just up top. All right, stand by. So there, I have to take those out, and there's another one right there hiding behind there. Those are gonna be this same 3/16, and so yeah, so they'll go in. I'll get my, here we go, get going. I'll take these out, be right back. All right, so once I took those two last screws out, the light is now loose, and I'm gonna use this tool that I have right here. It's an upholstery tool, and I'm gonna get the light separated from this bracket right here by pushing in and just kind of prying on each side to remove the light from that last piece. It looks like this from the back, and I'm gonna go ahead and unplug that, and should be good to go. All right, so that didn't apply, I didn't have to apply hardly any force to get those tabs off of here. And then that totally like loosened up the light to where it's already pretty much almost out. So what I do right here is, let me see if I can do some acrobatics. Basically, I lift up on here. See, I'm lifting up, and then that unplugs. So I have to lift up and then pull back, and the light will come out. Phone has to go down, guys, sorry. Oh no, it didn't. One hand on them. All right, so light can go in my storage. Here's a box for some other parts that gotta go downstairs in my storage. And so we're all set. Here is my zip tie that I've Gorilla taped together when I'm, use it for running wires. And so what they were saying was to start from this end and push your zip tie through all the way through the frame and see about going out the other side. I'll play with that. One of the other things I want to show you guys is to get to your Apple CarPlay adapter, which is this dongle right here. This is where it's located. It's the tan one, not the black one. It's the tan one. And that's normally covered up with this plug right here. This plug normally covers a blank spot for right here. So if I was to unplug this little tiny device, that's your Apple CarPlay device, just FYI. So all this stuff's kind of hanging. It's not a big deal. I've recorded what we've been doing so I know where everything goes back. This is the plug for the headlight, for the factory headlight. And so right now I'm just gonna focus on where I wanna run my, actually, I can go up this way. I just wanna see if I could actually run it through here and come out the other side. I don't know, we'll see, right? Pretty tight in there. So I'm gonna just mess around, I got time. But if that doesn't work, basically I'm gonna remove the tank, and to get to the battery, the way you do it is you remove this bolt, and just pull up this ECU, the electronic control module. It just like kind of hangs over here. And then when this is up, the battery is right under. So you'll have the positive and negative terminals. It's gonna come with a fuse adapter and a ground. And so I'm just gonna run that up. So if I do have to remove the tank, it is these 2 bolts right here, and you have 2 bolts on this side, which is protected by these little rubber covers. So pop that off, wrench, socket on that side and on that side, these, and at that point your tank would be loose. And right here is where you would pull down on this or push up on this and then pull this part down to release that from the gas cap area. More importantly, keep your bike covered when you're working. Also, take this cover off. Should have mentioned that at first. Whenever you're gonna be doing electrical work, take the cover off. Well, let me put this floorboard down so I don't damage anything. Cover off. And there's a red fuse that you need to remove, which is located right here. That's your master fuse. Take that, and now your bike is safe to do electrical work. All right, so I'll come back if I need to remove the tank, and I'll come back if I get that little zip tie through. But nonetheless, you guys are watching. I'm gonna be going to sleep because it's late at night. And hopefully by the time I come back, UPS will be here and I'll be installing this Baja Design LP-6 lights. So we'll do a time warp and see you guys in a minute. All right, good news everybody. The good news is that I was able to put my zip tie through, and I was able to run it up this frame here. It came out within there on that side, but I was able to reach it from the hole that I was talking about and got it through right there. So what I'm gonna do is when I get the wire harness, I'm going to tape it to here, the positive and negative wire, and just go ahead and pull it through. It's not a tight fit, so I'm excited about that. I don't have to remove the tank, and we will see how that goes tomorrow. But everything is now prepped and ready to install, and I can't wait because I may be able to finish it before I go to work. But now this takes out some of the worry and some of the time that I would be spending tomorrow when the package arrives. So hopefully nothing arrives broken, and I can go ahead and just put everything right on and right in place. And even if I don't get everything buttoned back up before it's time for me to go to work, you won't have to worry about it because you'll be seeing things as if there was no time involved. So, but I'll see you guys in a few, and be right back tomorrow. Well, today for you, or seconds. So for us to get to the battery, What I use is a 1/2-inch socket, and I put that on there. I've already loosened it with the wrench. Well, not wrench, but I've already loosened it, and now I can loosen it with my hand. This cover here, I forgot to go ahead and move some of these things out of the way. So you have this piece here, it just slides back and out. That's just my heated seat. I mean, not my heated seat, my heated gear plug. And this ECU just is held in place by those tabs there on the side. And as you can see, the battery's under here. So I always just move my ECU over and out of the way. And go ahead and continue taking this off. And once these are off, then you have access to the battery. So again, lift the ECU up and out of the way, either on one side or the other. This plastic piece comes off. You can lean that over somewhere where it's not touching your paint. I need to pull this piece off just to go ahead and make sure I don't scratch anything up. Anyway, I'll take that off, but then I can lean everything to the side. And now I have access to the negative and the positive terminals for my battery, and I can run my wire harness. All right, YouTube, we're back and the box is in. I'm gonna go ahead and open this up and get the parts out so we can get this thing on. Let's get on the road. So the company that I ordered from is called Cali Raised Moto, and in the package comes our bracket for the road glide. This is gonna be the model numbers and information, the part numbers. That's the company right there. Cali Raised Motos, they sell stuff for motorcycles as well as cars and things like that. And wow, look at that. They have a QR code for install video for all of y'all who will say, man, Chris does not know what he's doing. Let me skip. So I already have a set of Baja design lights on my other bike, and I do like the products that they put out at Cali Raised Moto. I love it. So Cali Raised Moto sells these wire harness kits, and there's a few other companies that sell wire harness kits as well. But all you guys know from Bike Week that they were down there installing hundreds of these lights on different people's bikes, and they stand by their product. So in the box, you have the 2 lights, you have the bracket, you have the wire harness kit, and that's all I have. And so this is them right here. And without further ado, let's get to it. This part of the video is for the unboxing junkies. In this one box, we have the LP-6 with clear lens. It comes with a bracket, bolts, and screws and accessories. It has the product warranty registration with a lot of stickers for all y'all who like stickers and things like that. And there is the amber. In this box, we mentioned the bracket kit, more stickers and flyers and things. Installation instructions, which is excellent to have. Always reference those and go by the color photos, and in this case, black and white photos. Aha, so I do have a fresh, out of the package amount of Loctite that I'm gonna be using on those. These are the part numbers for the Road Glide and all the other stuff. It's packaged real nice with part numbers and things like that, and warranty registration stuff. All right, let's go. Okay, so as you remember, I already took the long zip tie and ran it through the frame of the bike, and it comes all the way out on that end right there with the center of the string where you can see. And what I'm gonna do is I'm taking my wire harness and I'm going to tape it to this end of the zip tie and go ahead and pull it through. As you can see, the ground wire is longer than the power wire. And so what I'm gonna do is maybe fold it back and tie it or tape it onto there, or actually I'll probably just tape it all. Anyway, I'm gonna tape it on and pull it through. Okay, so the way I taped it was I taped the ground wire to the zip tie, and the shorter red wire, which is the positive wire, I just taped it to the black wire, and I'm gonna pull it through now. Okay, so I got it all taped on the other side. Here's my zip tie. I'm gonna go ahead and start pulling through. I can see my wires moving, and it's going through pretty good, and it's out on the other end, just like that. And there's the red. So this method with the zip tie, I have it taped together with the Gorilla Tape and the bulky end cut off. It works pretty good, like they said. So good investment. And let me go check out the other end, see how far it went. All right, so I got it stopped right here, and on to the next phase. So what's gonna happen is this piece right here is actually an extra part that connects to other lights. And these two will go to one side of each light, and this connects to the factory, the one that connected to the factory light right here, and that's it. So I'll get that put all together, and then we'll move towards putting the bracket on in the front and the lights. So I do have these wires on the video. They said that there was some quick connect to clip on to the wire there, this, that, and the other. It doesn't have it. So what it does have is heat shrink, and it has some clips that go on the end. So I'm gonna have to use my wire strippers, and I do have a heat gun to solder or to heat shrink this and to solder that. And I do have some extra connection pieces that I have here at home, so that helps too. So, all right, moving right along. All right, so I use a little Wagner heat gun that I keep, and I went on and, as you can see, I went on and soldered everything together. And what I like to do is I like to take some electrical tape and go over these and cover these up. It's totally up to you, but that's what I do. And once I have them covered up the way I want them, I'm gonna go ahead and just install them to the, install these to the battery terminals right there, negative and positive. And then I'm gonna go ahead and button this all back up, even put the seat on, then I'm gonna go to the front. Okay, and just like that, I have it connected to the battery terminals, negative and positive. It comes with a 30 amp fuse on the inside, and that's all done. So I'm gonna put all this stuff back the way I took it apart. I'm gonna go with this part here because the ECU actually sits inside of there. And just put everything back the way I took it off. This back piece clips to the battery itself back there and snaps in, and then everything else goes in place. So I'll be right back. So what I've done, I went on and put my seat back on. I put this side cover back on. You can't put the side covers on and take them off with the seat on, so that's convenient. I left the other one off because we have to replace that red fuse in the end. Now I'm ready to go ahead and tackle the front and put the bracket in place. And I can go ahead and connect this right here. I can connect that part right now. And I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to go ahead and put the bracket. So once I had those wires out, I went on and zip tied and connected wires to the two main veins of wires that were coming out the original and left these hanging. The next thing for me to do is to go ahead and put the bracket in place. And so the bottom screws I'm gonna put in first. I'm gonna use the factory bolts. They're gonna go one there, one on this side, and one on that side. I already have my factory bolts, and I have some blue Loctite on there that I'm gonna use. Okay, so I have the mounting bracket installed, and what you wanna do is tighten those up top. I have Loctite on each ones, and the bottom ones I'm gonna leave loose because I'm gonna have to take these off to put the final plate on, and I have the wires just right in back of there, so I can plug those into the light. And then the next thing you're gonna do is put the lock washers on these with blue Loctite. It comes with 10, you're only gonna use 9. So now I need to go over there, get my lights, and I need to mount my lights up to these left and right brackets, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my brackets, I'm setting them out. I'm looking at my diagram right here, and the packaging was marked to left and right side. So this is my left. I already put the right one in place, but I haven't put the bolts in. So I'm gonna just sit it down right here. And I'm looking at this configuration, how the shape is and everything, so I'll know how to put it. And one thing that I did was I actually put it up here just to kind of see where it's gonna go. And I'm gonna be using, once it's on, I see that there's a screw hole right there. Look at the middle of the screen. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so then taking my light, it's gonna go this way. So what you have is your LP-6 sign is gonna be on top, and the Baja BD, Baja Design, will be at the bottom. And you're gonna use your bolts that come in the boxes to mount on the sides. So on the sides, you have 2 holes there and 2 holes on the other side. So you're gonna have your 4 bolts on each side, and I'm going to get them out of the package and just put them on. I'm going to mount them on. I'm not going to show you that part, but I'm going to mount them on. I'll be right back. One of the things I wanted to show you was inside the box that these came in. It has a little instructions and everything wrapped up in a circle like this. I just unrolled it, and you have all your bolts in there. You can see that they have Loctite on them and washers. So you're going to need all of those except for that big one, but all of the 4 small ones to use to mount the brackets on 2 and 4 side, and then I'll open that one and put those in too. One thing also to note is that in your packaging, it does come with a connector so that you could actually cut your factory wire and then do a depinning, and then use a factory wire harness, and then it comes with the pins, and then you could plug everything in directly. But I would caution against that because these are high-powered lights, and the wire harness that comes with the Baja design kit is designed to where it's going to come with the relays and things like that, and you don't want to overheat or overrun the circuit from the original light. This is going to be pushing like 10,000 lumens per light, and the factory one certainly is not pushing that much. So I would caution against it and just I would always advise to use their specific wire harness. And it does also come with the protection from that 30 amp fuse that we saw that was in there. Okay, so without further ado, let me get this going, but just wanted to note that fact. So I used a 10, let me see, I think actually a 7/16 and socket, and that's what I use to go ahead and snug these up on the sides. You don't want to tighten them all the way. The bottom one is the one that stays stable. The top one is the one that kind of can move this way and that way so that you can adjust it. So I have it on there snug, but see, it's still loose enough for me to make the adjustments. They're gonna be fit tight in there like that. And so you're gonna have to take one of these guys and go ahead and tighten them once they're mounted up here. So they're ready to go ahead and mount in, and I'm gonna go ahead and put the 3 screws on each side to mount those. First things first, you wanna plug it in. You don't wanna get that, screw it in, then you forgot to plug it in there. So I'll be right back. All right, so what you wanna do is take your bolts, and I'm using a 5mm socket, and you're gonna put the 4 in, 1 there, 2 on the bottom, and 1 in the back corner in there. Yep, there it is. Okay, hard to see, but back in there. And you don't want to snug them all in until you get them all in place, and then tighten them up. What I do is I'm going with the amber on the clutch side because that's what they recommended. All right, so you don't have to make them extremely tight. They're not going anywhere. They have lock washers on. They have Loctite on. You don't want to over tighten because you don't want to strip anything out, and that'll be a disaster. One of the scary things is I didn't even test these out before installing them. So if you're really cautious, you might want to go ahead and test the lights out. Initially, I would have to put the fuse back in and test those, but I'm just hoping that they work. All right, so that's how they look like on so far. So they were saying that with it on the clutch side or the driver side and the oncoming traffic side, that this enhances your night vision and depth perception and different benefits, but we'll see. I just like it. Looked cool to me when I saw one at one of the bike shows up in New Jersey, and it had just 2 different color lights. But one thing that I did notice, like that's really clear when I'm on this bike, but before I had lights on, I was caught in a rainstorm, then it stopped raining. It was like super foggy, and I wish I had yellow lights or amber lights on that one. So this is something that I definitely was gonna put in when I got this set up. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the red fuse in and test this out before I go any further. So I have this main fuse, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in here, and then I'm going to turn the bike on. Okay, so that main fuse installs right there, and at this point I can go ahead and put my side cover back on because I don't need to unplug that anymore. All right, so now turn the bike on. Ooh, I can see that super bright already. And let's see, yep, we got both lights on, so we're good to go. We are set. So when you adjust these, you want to be back about 15 feet, and they should aim at mid-level of your target. Of course, yeah, I had to pull out all the bikes just to get this one out. Well, not all of them, but just those to get this out. And I'll do that a little bit later on. It's gonna be dark, so we might as well use the night to our advantage, but that looks good. All right, so now we can keep going and stand by. So on this part, I tilted my lights down a little bit. At a 15-foot test, they should be at or below level so you're not blinding other drivers. I kind of remember how I had that one set, so I'm at like a slight tilt down. I'll take my 7/16 and I'm gonna, I'll go ahead and tighten these up now. And if I have to readjust them later on, then I'll just go ahead and do that, but I'll have to take everything apart. Do not over tighten this because you do not want to strip this out. That would suck. So at this point, I can go ahead and install my filler plate, and I have to get that out of the packaging right now. So I just wanted to show you like unwrapping this filler plate. They have it packaged extremely well in here, and just to avoid bending of it and things like that, because it is pretty flexible and bendable, but you don't want to unbend that or bend it out of shape. And it does come with this rubber piece right here, and you even have to be careful when putting this on, and you don't want to bend anything up. You will have to take those bottom screws back out, bolts back out, because that's where the filler plate is going to go, and then the bolts will go back in place. So this is going to go on top here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I have this on at this angle here. You want to be careful not to bend anything, and everything's in place. So at the end, you're going to have that last M6 bolt. Like I said, we put 8 in on the sides here. This will be the 9th one, and the 10th one is not used, it's just extra. I'm going to unbolt these 2 and then put those in at the bottom there, and that'll be installing our filler plate. So I have the final bolt in place for the final bracket, and everything's in. So I just gotta put these wires back in nice, and then just put the fairing back on, and it's done. So what I'm gonna do, I am gonna remove this metal plate off because it's not needed, and that will allow me more space to tuck these wires away. I'm just gonna use this tool here that's for like upholstery, and then push that back and out. That plate came off very easy. I'll go ahead and tuck these in behind here and get everything back on. Okay, so to put this back in place, first thing I'm gonna do is grab the fairing and one of the screws right here to hold the fairing in place. And grab that, take it over here with me. Put this on, just like that. Should use 2 hands, put my body against it, get it in place, line it up, and I'll put that one screw in that goes through the speaker grill. Ooh, this is bad video. Let me put this off for a second. Okay, so I carried the fairing back over here and I put my body against it and I grabbed that one bolt right here with my body against it and I'll just start hand tightening it in. That way I could step away from the fairing and I know it's not gonna fall out. So that's good enough. And then I'll go ahead and get my other screws and put everything back in place. All right, so if you remember, I loosened these up with this T25 screwdriver. So I went on and just tightened these back up on the left and right side. And the next thing to do is to go ahead and plug these back in there and there. So plug those in. The next thing I like to do is line up the bolt holes here and get the bolts in on the side, left and right side. And that's the next thing I like to do. Next thing I install is these little wind deflectors here. I leave that loose just in case I gotta kind of adjust the panels. This is the first time in all the Harleys I had where that bottom screw was going in a little tight, so I had to kind of like lift up and keep this one a little loose. And but it's while I'm on the right side of the bike, I'll go ahead and slide the speaker grill cover in on the side right there, and then you'll just press those tabs in and be careful not to break any tabs. And let me do this with two hands. It's pretty easy, but I want to be careful. Next thing I want to put on is this piece here, and what you want to do is sit it on, fit this up here in this area and that side and press down. You heard that snap, snaps right in, everything's lined up. And you can go ahead and clean this off because it's harder to reach when the windshield is in place. So I'm gonna spray and clean that off pretty good. And then I'll put the windshield on. So the last thing I'm gonna do is put the windshield on. So you wanna start your screws with the washers out. See, they won't stay in place, but when you sit the windshield on, you want the washers between, you know, in front of the windshield. So you're just gonna slide those on. That's definitely gonna be a two-hander. So I'll put that on and we'll be done. And just like that, we have everything on and it is looking pretty good. That's the look there. And I like it. This bike is getting fitted with everything that I always wanted on it before I even had it. The Empire Series foot controls. I ordered the Empire Collection mirrors from Harley, the factory 47 bars, 12 inch. They look taller because of the way the Road Glide fairing sits forward on the Road Glide 3. The klockwerks windshield, the lights, and put some custom dynamics lights on the back with the tab exhaust, tab zombies. I ordered the rack, that's still coming. The Advanblack center console and the heat deflectors on the sides, the air breather. I have the headers over here, which I can't install yet until I get the tune, well, until Harley sends the tune. I don't have any more information on that, but I will check it today and see if there's an update. I'll continue to check it every day by turning the bike on. And hey, let's just turn it on, see while we're here. Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I want to pull it out of the garage, but it is 12 a.m. and I don't think my neighbors will like that because Grady is very loud. All right, so it's with the lights off and that thing is extremely bright. The thing that I like about the Baja design lights is that it has actual cutouts on the side and it gives you a side field of view. And when you're on the road, you could pretty much see in front of you on the left and on the right because of that side field of view. They also sell these lights that you can connect to the side. They're the Baja Design S2s. And that's something that you can get for it. Turn the light back on. So also Eagle lights, they sell some lights that go pretty good with the Baja designs. And if you want to buy lights from Eagle Lights, LEDs from Eagle Lights, you can use the code ChrisGlides as a promo code, and you'll get 15% off of your purchase. And Eagle lights are a lot less expensive than Baja design lights. But you know, I felt that I can match the pair. They're all LED, they match, they look alike. And yeah, so this is the final look for now. Comment and let me know what else you think I should do to this. I like the seat that's on there. I never ride two up, so I like that. I am gonna have the rack on. I don't think that I'll put a backrest on there. Some people like the backrest right here. I don't know if I'm gonna put that on or not. I'm gonna ride it long distance and see how it feels and go from there. So with the bike on accessory, as you can see, even though this one is clear, with it on accessory, they both shine amber. So that's pretty good. That's pretty cool looking. And I'll turn it back on ignition. It's fully bright again with both lights. And I need to check the high beam, low beam, which I didn't check. Yeah, they're working. So high beam is gonna activate, the top portions of the lights, and low beams will activate the lower portions of the lights out of the 6 LEDs in there. And I'm gonna get it out on the road at night and show you all a video of this bike as well as this bike to show you how bright it is so you can see. All right, YouTube, thank you for watching. That's gonna do it for this episode of Chris Glides and Low Rides. Thanks for hanging in there while I installed the Baja Design lights, LP-6. Thank you for Cali Raised Moto. The harness that you guys created for this is excellent. Also, you get an extra, it comes with the extra plug. So if you do want to put the S2 lights on or change the other side lights, that is also included on the harness. That's the other piece that's on there. And I had fun installing it. It was pretty easy. Just make sure you cover your bike parts up, take off all your jewelry. I had a watch on, I know you've seen in the video, take that off so you don't scratch the bike. And this is a pretty successful, pretty easy. And anyone can do it. If you're not comfortable with wiring, only thing you're doing is pretty much adding on the fuse wire to the battery, and then connecting that fuse wire to the red line, and then your ground wire, you're adding a connector to plug onto the battery. It's very easy. So I didn't show that part in detail. I don't like showing wiring because I don't want to be liable for somebody wiring something incorrectly. But red is positive, black is negative. But I had fun on this one. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching Chris Glides and Low Rides. If you like this, forward it to someone, and like it, comment, subscribe. And thanks for watching Chris Glides and Low Rides. Until next time, stand by.